George Washington University has just announced they will be retiring their mascot, the Colonial, citing division amongst the community about the moniker. And while the nerfing of society continues, it's unbelievably sad that an institution where it costs $82,000 a year to attend doesn't even understand the difference between colonials and colonialism. The colonial is meant to represent the people who fought for the Continental Army against tyrannical colonialism. This mix of woke and stupid is more deadly than a cyanide pill. And make no mistake, they're coming after George Washington next. You know, the guy the university was literally named after and one of the biggest heroes in the history of the United States. Now, they had a virtual split when they took a vote, and most alumni were in favor of keeping the name, according to the New York Post. Now, we've seen this play out with the Redskins name change when 90% of Native Americans who were polled didn't even care. And it's about the same when Cleveland stopped calling themselves the Indians. Now, I'm starting to believe that certain segments pick these fights because it's the only ones they can actually win. But as common sense becomes more uncommon, we become weaker. While we're worried about minuscule issues like the mascot at George Washington, our geopolitical rivals' kids are doing math, push-up science, and are being told how proud they should be of the country they live in. We've got to be able to understand that people aren't perfect today. They weren't perfect back then either. But there are amazing parts of our history, and the United States is the greatest human experiment of all time. We're so fortunate, in fact, that we have people that pick fights like this when we have runaway inflation, an oncoming recession, a baby formula shortage, and mounting problems left and right that actually affect people in the real world. Now, the most ironic part probably about this whole thing is that the people who start these fights aren't even the people that would be offended by what they're fighting over. Now, there's a great reset coming. We're seeing it, but it cannot get here fast enough. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. That you don't know the difference between colonial and colonialism. If they were the colonists, that's a little bit, I can understand it. I can understand it a little bit more.
Let me push back on one thing there. I think these people do know the difference. It's not the difference that they don't. It's not that they don't understand what they're doing. They understand what they're doing. And you hit the nail on the head. They want to come after George Washington. That's the ultimate thing. Get rid of the university completely. Not only the name, everything. I mean, everything about our society and our country and our culture. Completely flip it on its head. That's the ultimate goal. You just have to do it with some of these things right here that seem the easiest first. Yeah. And it makes me sick. And I think now should be a good time for you to actually plug Herschel Walker's episode tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we got Herschel Walker.
What Herschel had to say, people need to hear that.
It's the truth. I mean, we have no common sense anymore. Why are we doing this? We're talking about canceling George Washington, the Colonials mascot? What are we doing? What's next? The Patriots?
Yeah.
Well, the Patriots will be next.
I'm telling you, all of them.
No, it'll change. It'll change from the Patriots to the, I don't know, the jihadists or something like that. It's so ridiculous that we do this in our society. Who does this help? Who does this help? Let me ask, when I go to the gas pump, how does that help me? When I go try and buy food, how does that help me? If I'm a mom trying to find infant formula, how the hell does this help me? It doesn't. It helps nobody, and it's stupid. It's stupid. And you have a 50-50 vote that they took, about 50-50 split, and most of the alumni were like, no, don't change this. It's just, again, I'll say it again. We're on a bad track right now, and we're going to look up 10 years from now and wonder why we're in third or fourth. I'm just telling you, it's going to happen because we're not worried about making the car go fast. We're just worried about making sure the car has pretty bumper stickers on it. Who's really offended? Show me the person. I'll let you come on this show. Show me the person that is offended by this.
They won't come on the show.
No, who's offended by this? What person is so offended that you want to change the name from Colonials? It's
not very inclusive.
No, it's not very inclusive at all. Blaine, what's the Booster Club say? A very inclusive place.
Oh, yes, it is. Mike says the new team name should be called the Socialists so they can get beaten in sports consistent.
You know what? No, I got one, a win for everybody. How about the George Washington Apologists?
Oh, then
y'all can be the apologists.
Then they'd get the name change, right?
Yeah, but see, you can be happy because, it's not the Colonials anymore, but you're apologist for George Washington. So let's meet in the middle.
How about their mascot is the greatest? So then your George Washington's the greatest.
I'm with it.
There you go.
I'm with it
You have to
100%.
say it in a full sentence every time.
What else, B?
Kyle Jenkins
Playing the
says
dragon?
for $82K a year, they better know the difference.
82. Think about that. If you paid $82,000 a year and these clowns don't even know the difference between the name of their own mascot and the definition of what they're trying to fight against. It's like the guy from Billy Madison. At no point in this constant rambling has anybody on that side made a point that even resembles anything that is logical. George Washington, I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, and also,
Y'all are you know what it is? It's at this point, you know what it probably is? It's probably a bunch of white people that are upset about this.
Yeah.
It's probably a bunch of white, privileged people that are really rich that are probably upset about this. It's the truth.
I want to ask, do you think our booster club is the most inclusive place?
It probably is in the world.
Like, all you have to do is literally just be in the chat.
Yeah, just show up. It doesn't matter what you look like, what your name is.
Open the computer.
What's in between your legs is a trust
Well,
tree.
I mean,
Hey, if you like what you heard and you want to hear more, go on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Check out Crane & Company live every day from 2 to 3 Central, where you can hear us spit it straight.